right now, it is my pleasure to introduce our special guest for this evening, Heather Rankin. Hello, Heather. How are you doing today?
Oh my word, I am great. And you?
I am doing good. So thank you for taking the time to chat with me today.
My pleasure.
So first off, I wanted to talk a little bit about, I hear before everyone had to start staying home and such, you were in the process of working on a third solo album. Is that right?
That is correct. And
yes, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, I've been back and forth to Ireland a few times. I'm planning to record with Donald Lunny, who is a fantastic Irish musician, and he produced a number of great records, but he's also a fabulous musician. And so I've been, thinking about going back to my roots, and we started out like compiling lists of songs, and we had so many Gaelic songs that we thought, well, maybe we might end up with a Gaelic record. In any case, it'll be some sort of traditional record. We never really know what we end up with until we finish. So that's what I've been working on, and that got cut, put on hold for the time being. Yes. But like everybody, it's just a time it's actually a great opportunity to step back and catch our breath and take care of things that have been pushed to the side, like paperwork and closet cleaning, and so taking advantage of my time home.
Yeah. Now, I guess, of course, with being home, you are missing a couple live performances, I guess, as well. What would you say is one thing that you miss about doing live shows?
I miss the members of the band. I miss, that social network, and I miss that connection with the audience, because it's always a little scary before you go on stage, but it's always very exciting when you get a few songs in and you become comfortable, and you can tell that people are having a good time, and it's just it's an odd thing, I think, when you grow up as an entertainer. It's part of your social life, more so maybe than hanging out with people on a one-on-one basis. Yes. So you do. I miss that.
Yeah. And you talk about growing up as an entertainer, of course, in the Rankin family. I'd say one of the most successful family bands, we'll call it, to come out of Canada, one of my favorite musical groups, I'd have to say.
Thank you.
When you think about when you first started performing as a group with the family, how did that first come to be?
Well, it goes back quite a few decades, actually. I'm 11th of 12 kids, and I'm sort of at the end of the childbearing years. So the older kids, I think, to make a little bit of extra money around the community, would sing at weddings and funerals and dances at the hall. We lived right next to the hall, and for years they did that. But a lot of those events were often places where events where liquor was served, so the younger kids weren't involved. But we were all involved at some point or other, going around and doing community concerts, and like a celebration of Thanksgiving or your summer festival days or what have you. And so eventually I got old enough to be part of that, the older group, and it wasn't long after that we started making records and touring outside of our community, outside of our province. And but it was just we grew up in a musical community too, where even to this day there are a lot of families who just carry on that tradition of playing music together. And we always have the beautiful church choir in Mabu, and it's something, where that tradition of entertaining one another was carried on down through the generations. It's just very, very important to the people who settled there.
Yeah. Now, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges of going from being in a larger group to becoming a solo artist?
Oh, wow. Responsibility. The weight of responsibility is 100% yours. The work, you have to juggle a lot of things at the same time. You certainly learn a lot about the business, but your free time is few and far between, the opportunities to just hang out and do nothing. But it's always a really good thing when you're in any business to have to juggle all those jobs, and so that you can appreciate when other people are helping you out. I learned that actually being in the pub business too. I own a pub with a few of my sisters. We bought a pub. It's 16 years ago, I think, this year. Is it? Gary! And the first couple of years we were open, I managed it. And I had no restaurant experience and no management experience or anything of that nature. So it was an incredible learning experience and a steep learning curve. But I think very important to do that, to do those jobs, to know what it is that takes up a manager's time and what it is that takes up a server's time. And yeah, I'm always learning.
Unfortunately, our interview there got cut a little short due to some technical difficulties, but I'd like to thank Heather for joining us on tonight's show. We've got another new one for you next Wednesday, and for all the updates on when you can find the show and where you can find it, Twitter and Instagram at JTNLNowP, and on Facebook, NL Now Productions. And also, be sure to visit our YouTube channel, NL Now Productions, for all of our past episodes of the show, from our Rogers TV days, and even all the way back to our original YouTube web series. Signing off for another NL Now Online COVID-19 edition, I am Gary Wheeseltin. Stay safe.